Hello, this is episode 2 of the AJ Sports Podcast. Today, we're a show. I don't know. Who the hell knows at this point? But today, we're going to be talking about, the first thing we'll talk about is my reaction to the Georgia Tech Clemson game, and I'll give you every team's record of the 2022 NFL season. So let's get the Clemson Georgia Tech out of the way real quick. Georgia Tech, they had a lot to prove this game. Their offense was fucking awful last year. They were pathetic. Their, their defense was great last year, but their offense was so bad they couldn't even win the ACC. The improvement is meh. I didn't see much improvement. DJ Ugalele just doesn't seem to be a great college quarterback or just good enough for a college football playoff team. I mean, hell, even their backup quarterback looked honestly better when he was in the game. But let's check. What's his name? I think it was like Cade Klubnik. It'll be a minute before we can pronounce this guy's name. But Clemson's offense wasn't good enough. They did ran away in the fourth quarter, so Clemson won 41-10. But it took them a bit to get those 41 points, and just I don't know. The ACC is weird this year. It seems like Miami looks to be a pretty good football team this year. Florida State, I need something more to look at Florida State, see if they're good enough or not. But Clemson's going to drop a game if they don't get this offense together because their defense is going to be top three again this season. But if their offense is so pitiful and just straight up garbage, you're just even if you do make the playoffs, Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, they're waiting for you. All those teams have elite offenses. They can counter Clemson's great defense. Clemson's got to get their offense together, or they ain't sniffing a national title game. You have to win the ACC first. So enough of that. I pretty much predicted every single game of the season, so I'm not gonna bore you to death and rewind every game. Just no, every game is different, and every single time we all make these predictions, we're wrong. So we just give the most accurate predictions we possibly can. I'm gonna start with the AFC first. The AFC is loaded this year. A bunch of good teams, great teams that can run. So let's start with the AFCs. The Bills, I have them going 14-3. I think this is the year where Josh Allen gets that consistency going. That defense is going to be top five again, possibly top three, because they were number one ranked defense last year. I think the offense gets a little bit more consistency this year. I think Josh Allen's already elite, but he's going to stay on that level. I'm not saying raise the bar, but just you're going to see a little bit more of a consistent Josh Allen in the regular season because last year there were some moments, but there were some goofs. So I think this year Josh Allen is going to really just be a top three quarterback in the league, if not already. So I see the Bills sniff the number one seed. The Patriots are, let's admit, they're hard to predict. I have them going 9-8. Crazy? Maybe? I might be wrong on this one. The Patriots, I don't know. I just think the Bill Belichick era is coming to an end. Mac Jones can be a good quarterback. He ain't no Tom Brady. I'm sorry. He's just not. And it's the same shit like multiple years now. Which wide receiver is going to catch the ball for Mac Jones? I don't know. I have no idea. Damien Harris is a solid running back. It's not like he's going to carry you to wins. What's truly going to win is that defense is going to continue. It got shredded by the Bills in the wild card game, but that's not going to happen every week. Patriots defense is still elite. It's still Bill Belichick, so that defense is still going to be top par. I just think the offense and just overall the competition in the AFC this year. So I have the Patriots barely missing the playoffs. The Dolphins, to be honest, I had them going 8-9. The problem I see the Dolphins is they're gonna be a great team at times, but they're just gonna blow up some games because I just think the issue is their consistency. And they fired Brian Flores because the Dolphins decided let's tank, and Flores wanted Justin Herbert, which should have been the right move, but no. The Dolphins says we want to woo. Congratulations. Now you see the issue. Tua is. I don't even think he's a great NFL caliber quarterback. So, congratulations, Dolphins. You're going to disappoint again. Maybe Butch Stephen Ross is owner. Maybe, I don't know. The Jets, I'm not even going to talk about them much. They're going to go 3-14. They suck. They're a bad franchise. There's not much to talk about them. I mean, they're going to rotate quarterbacks. I never believed Zach Wilson. I believe he was overrated as a prospect. I just do not think he was going to be a good NFL quarterback. And it seemed like those are going to be confirmed, especially this season as year 2 steps around. Just, sorry, Jets. You're a godforsaken franchise. Imagine what those fans go through. The Bengals, I am going 12-5. I think the Bengals, they're not going to blow me away that much, but it's going to be similar like last year in the regular season, just a little bit better. That offensive line, even if it's not drastically improved, it won't be atrocious. And that offensive line, it was bad. They made some key additions like Alex Kappa and Leo Collins. Not the sexiest type of moves, but those are the moves you need to make sure your offensive line, at least make sure Burrow doesn't fucking die in the pocket. Because that's all they needed to win the Super Bowl, and that didn't happen. Maybe with that this year, it'll help. My biggest question, are you going to pay Jesse Bates what he's earned? Because he's earned that money. He's earned a good contract. Now, they franchise tag him this year, so we'll see if they pay him. I think he'll have a great season. It's Jesse Bates. What do you expect? That defense, not elite, but pretty damn good. It can definitely hold some teams. So the Bengals, I have you going 12-5. You'll win the AFC North again. Baltimore Ravens, it's going to be the same maybe not the same problem as last year. Their running backs suffered season-ending injuries before the season started last year. So this year, I have them going 10-7. Lamar Jackson's going to. The problem what you're having with Lamar Jackson is he's a good passer. He's not a great passer. In the NFL, you need to be a great passer. Who cares if Jackson can scramble better than anybody else we may have ever seen? But if let's say in a close game, it's 3rd and 10. Who knows if Jackson will deliver those situations? Now he's won big games before, but I just and yes, what I predict every game how the playoff run goes, the Ravens will miss the playoffs. How I picked every game because 10-7, the AFC is loaded, and I'll explain to you the reason why. So the Baltimore Ravens, they'll have a great defense as usual. Jackson's gonna hopefully not get injured late in the season because that really doomed the Ravens if they weren't doomed from the start. So the Ravens, I have them going 10-7. The Steelers, 8-9. This is a prediction. I could be wrong. I could easily be wrong with this prediction. But the Steelers never have a losing season under Mike Tomlin. I think it's going to come down this year. Their defense is great. Their offense is garbage. Mitch Trubisky, I pray to God that Kenny Pickett doesn't start till late in the season to not wreck his development. But Steelers, You're not a great team this season. You fluked your way to the playoffs last year. I'm done with you. Cleveland Browns, there really is no need to discuss. You made the deal with Watson. Now you're going to pay it this season. At least for this season. You're going to go 8-9. Um, you're just going to go 8-9. I mean, Jacoby Brissett. He's a good short-term quarterback, but this year you have to rely on long-term. What a shame, Browns. What a shame. That franchise isn't that. I'm done with you. I'm not playing with you. The AFC South. As a Colts fan, I'm going 11-6. I'm not going to go too much into detail because I could talk all day about the Colts because I'm a Colts fan. But the defense has the potential to be top 5. The offense is going to be mediocre to good at best. And that's to me, it doesn't matter if we make the playoffs or not. We ain't winning a single fucking playoff game with that offense. That offense is not good enough. That's not good enough of an offense. I mean, we only have one solidified wide receiver. Yes, Jonathan Taylor is great. Yes, you have a great offensive line. We have a question on left tackle. We'll see how that goes this season. Matt Ryan, he's going to be a check down artist to an intermediate passer. He's not going to throw many deep passes this year because Matt Ryan is just not capable of throwing that much deep passes like he did a few years ago in his prime. So the Colts, I'm going 11-6. Titans, 10-7 this year. They'll be the last team. They'll be the 7th seed for Tennessee. It's going to be similar like the Colts. They have the potential to be a top 10 defense. You got Derrick Henry. The problem is Ryan Tannehill and not much of a weapons to throw to your best wide receiver is Robert Woods. You let A.J. Brown walk, so your offense will suffer. But I think you have enough pedigree to finish 10-7. But just like the Colts, you're not winning a playoff game. Texans and Jags, I'm not going to talk about. Texans 4-13, Jags 3-14. They're both terrible run franchises. Trevor Lawrence is going to get ran to the ground. That's how bad the Jags are. I mean, congratulations, you paid Christian Kirk. The Texans, I don't even need to talk about you. You're irrelevant. AFC West time, the most low division football. Chiefs 12-5. I'm not going to be one of those idiots who overreacts to a couple departures. The Chiefs will be fine. I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster and MVS, they will not really replace Tyreek Hill, but they're very good options. And you still have Travis Kelce, the best tight end. So we're not gonna panic here. I'm not saying the Chiefs will definitely it'll hurt them, but I think they'll be fine. Patrick Mahomes is not gonna let that team falter. That's just not happening. The Chiefs are gonna also Andy Reid's still coaching. So the Chiefs are gonna go 12-5. There's no need to overthink and panic. Chargers, I am going 12-5 as well. The Chargers made the most dramatic improvement. Justin Herbert's had 2 great seasons. I think this year, team-wise, they're going to put it together. That defense has been fixed. Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson, 2 big signings. You still have a great offense. So the Chargers, I think they're gonna make a good run this season, and they have a potential to be a Super Bowl team. All really they have to do is not what they've done historically and just screw up every opportunity they try. So I think the Chargers will be great this year. The Broncos, I think the Broncos are going to be that team. They'll be worst to first. I mean, when you snag a franchise quarterback in Russell Wilson, that's going to immediately put your offense top because they were a great defense last year. The problem was their offense. It's Drew Lock. Drew Lock was your quarterback. You're not going anywhere with Drew Lock. So this year, you got Russell Wilson. You're going somewhere. Even if the offense is not great, it's going to be good enough to really help out that defense and earn you plenty of wins. So I have the Broncos going 11-6. The Raiders are going to be the ones out of the playoffs. I think the Raiders have the most flaws, and more importantly, I think they're the worst defense of the AFC West, their offense will be explosive. I mean, I think Derek Carr's going to have a consecutive good season. You haven't seen that for Derek Carr. He's either going to be a good season, let down. Good season, let down. I think he's going to have those two consecutive good seasons because he's reunited with his college teammate in Davante Adams. So I think the Raiders are going to go 9-8. It sucks that the division is so loaded that's the only reason, in my opinion, they're missing the playoffs. The AFC East is a joke, but there's at least a couple good teams. The Eagles, I think this season is going to be Jalen Hurts' best season of his career. It's not like it's going to be a great season. It's going to be good enough. And yes, I have the Eagles winning the NFC East. They added A.J. Brown to complement with Devontae Smith. You still have Dallas Goedert in a great running game. So that offense is going to be borderline top 10 in the league. The defense is good enough. But the Eagles just have too many flaws to make the playoffs. But they will finish with an 11-6 record. The Cowboys, they're going to fall off 10-7. The Cowboys are the most, let's get this straight, they're the most overrated franchise in all sports. Dak Prescott is good, not great. I think Zeke's going to start his decline. And they just don't have many weapons like last year. Cooper's gone. Cedric Wilson's gone. Yes, CeeDee Lamb is great. But it's not going to be enough weapons to complement. And your defense is going to be hit or miss. Hit or bust. That's how your defense is. And you're coached by Mike McCarthy. You'll make the playoffs 10-7. I have you as the 7th seed, but you ain't going anywhere in the playoffs. The Washington Commanders, or the Commies, what I call them, they're going to go 6-11. Your defense is pretty good. Your offense is mediocre. And Carson Wentz is your quarterback. Take it from me as a Colts fan. Carson Wentz is a guy who has talent, but he fucks everything up. Remember that game against the 2-14 Jags? Yeah, I remember that. Carson Wentz will lose games. The Giants, 5-12. You might make minor improvements, like on a couple of spots, but Daniel Jones is not an NFL quarterback. He's terrible. He's terrible. Your defense may be good. You've got Evan Neal and Kayvon Thibodeau will show their potential, but you're gonna rot away Saquon. He needs to get out of there. And the Giants need the best way the Giants to do is get rid of Daniel Jones and try to find a competent quarterback. And hopefully your next head coach, who is your head coach? The Giants head coach. I forgot who the head coach is. Brian Daboll. Hopefully he's better than Joe Judge. So Giants, you're going to go 5-12. It's going to be another unfortunate season in New Jersey. Man, what's happened with New York sports teams? The Green Bay Packers, 11-6. I think this is going to be a slow decline of the franchise. Your last chance was last year. And you performed a phenomenal choke job. You lost Davante Adams. You lost Valdes-Scantling. Your offense is going to fall to potential mediocrity. The one thing that's saving your ass is Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, and A.J. Dillon in your great offensive line. It's great. It did collapse in the 49ers, but Bakhtiari was out. Your defense is great. Matt LaFleur is a very good coach. But I think the problem is you just don't have enough wide receivers that are good enough to cover ground. So the Packers, you will make the playoffs, but your decline will start. Vikings, 10-7. I think they'll make massive improvement. Mike Zimmer is out as head coach. Zimmer was known to be like an asshole. There was a toxic in the locker rooms, just massive underachieving. I think the NFC is disappointing just enough for the Vikings to go 10-7. Your offense is very good. Kirk Cousins, he's not great, but he's good. He's a good quarterback. Stop with the Kirk Cousins thing. Yes, he's not going to deliver in the playoffs, but you You have Justin Jefferson, who's a top five wideout, and you have and Thielen, who's pretty good. And Dalvin Cook's a top five running back, top three. The defense is meh. I think there's some improvements you can make there. But the Vikings, I just think with a different coach, with a different culture, I think the Vikings won't massively underachieve. They'll go. Speaking of good culture, the Lions. I think culture alone is going to make the Lions, and I think Aiden Hutchins is going to have a monster rookie season. In my opinion, he's the real deal. I think the Lions go 7-10. The schedule is easy enough to. I think they'll make the playoffs. I think their schedule is easy enough to win 7 games, but that's it. And honestly, I might be reaching that. I might be reaching it. Jared Goff, or I call him Jared Goof, he's he's not terrible, but he's not going to win you that many games. I think the Lions, if the Lions are actually going to be a competent organization for once, I think this is a good start. I think you guys slightly overachieve and go 7-10. The Bears, it's a sad. Bears fans are probably going to have to be the saddest fan base in all the NFL. They're going to go 2-15. You're ruining Justin Fields. Who's even going to catch the ball? I don't think Montgomery's a good running back. Your offensive line, I can't name a single person. Roquan Smith wants to get out. I mean, Eddie Jackson's great. I mean, the Bears are the incompetent Bears. You're terrible. You're a horrible franchise. You're utterly bad. You're going 2-15. Sorry. The Bucks, 12-5. It's gonna be a weird season because you can never count Tom Brady out, but this could be a repeat like last year. Just too many injuries to overcome. You're already missing multiple pieces of your offensive line. And luckily for you, you won't have the cancer known as Antonio Brown. You replaced him with Julio Jones, who we'll see if he stays healthy. He's gonna be a great third option. Leonard Fournette he's good. He's a good running back. He's missed his chances to be a great one, but he's a pretty good running back. And their defense is still as great as advertised. Todd Bowles is a good head coach, maybe not the Bruce Arians level, but I think the team's going to rally around him. And Tom Brady, this is his last season. To me, this is his last season. You know what do they do in the playoffs? Who knows? But they'll go 12-5. The Saints, Dennis Allen, we probably know them from the Raiders. This is where the falls begin. They'll go 9. I have them finishing 9-8. The defense is going to continue to carry that Saints, and Jameis Winston, without Sean Payton, in my opinion, is going to turn back to his gunslinging ways. Maybe not throw 30 interceptions, but he will cost the Saints some games. I think that offense, even if Mike Thomas has a career renaissance, I just don't think the Saints offense is good enough to win that many games. So they'll go 9-8. It's going to be a frustrating year for Saints fans. The Carolina Panthers, I'm going 5-12. Matt Rule doesn't know what he's doing. Baker Mayfield is going to be at least stable at quarterback. Maybe your offensive line won't completely go to shit. Maybe if Christian McCaffrey can stay out. The offense is it's gonna be, they'll show times for the good, but most of the time they're just not a good offense. They're not a good offense. This is gonna be it's gonna be an odd rebuilding year for the Panthers. We'll see if maybe this time, maybe Baker can develop. Baker's never gonna be able to elevate his play. And as a Sooner fan, I'm a Baker fan. I've been riding and dying Baker when he was with the Browns. But the problem is his quarterback flaws are exposed. So I have him finishing 5-12. Baker just doesn't have a good team like the Browns. The Falcons, they have started their rebuild. They let Matt Ryan go. Marcus Mariota is going to start as quarterback. I have you guys going 3-14. 3-14. This is not a good season for the Falcons. It's gonna begin the rebuilding mode. The NFC West. The Rams are going to be great as advertised. I'm going 14-3. The offense is just as good, and the defense, it's almost the same team. Just with Bobby Wagner in, Von Miller out. Allen Robinson in, Robert Woods out. And sure, Whitworth has retired, and I think the Rams will be fine. They'll go for 14-3. There's way too much talent. The team is well coached. They won't fall flat in their face. The Cardinals, 11-6. This is the prediction I feel like I might be the most wrong. The Cardinals have a great offense. Their defense is solid. The problem is Cliff Kingsbury just and I do it. And the funny thing is, in their last 7 games, I'm going 6-1. So I'm probably gonna be the most wrong there because Cliff Kingsbury likes collapses. I just think when DeAndre Hopkins comes back, I think the team will kind of elevate a little bit. And Kyler Murray's gonna have. I think this is going to be the best season he's going to have so far to his career. So Cardinals, you're going to go 11-6, but it's about what you're going to do in the postseason. And more importantly to Cliff Kingsbury, are you guys not going to collapse? That's the question for the Cardinals. 49ers, you're officially going into Trey Lance mode. The 49ers are the toughest team to predict because it all determines how well the offense plays because we all know your defense is great. I have the Niners going 9-8. The Niners are a good team, great defense, too many questions of offense, and Kyle Shanahan is a good like an offensive strategist, like he's a great offensive coach. He does not know game situations. And it literally cost his ass 2 Super Bowls. I mean, congratulations. You put Trey Lance over Jimmy G. Great. Little small issue. Trey Lance will have to commit some massive failures and some good successes for this transition to work. You almost have to wait a year to pretty much to know if Trey Lance is the guy or not. So I think 9-8, but the Niners still have great potential. It's just if Trey Lance is good enough to make a good playoff run. Seattle Seahawks, you're officially entering rebuild mode, and how in the hell do you not fire Pete Carroll? Pete Carroll needs to go. He needs to get fired. I mean, Geno Smith and Drew Lock are your quarterbacks. That's all I gotta say. 3-14 is what I'm projecting for the Seattle Seahawks. I don't need to talk about the Pacific Northwest anymore. So there you go. Those are the records I have for the predictions. So Bills and Rams is the number 1 seeds. I have the Bills, Bengals, Chiefs, Colts win their divisions. Rams, Buccaneers, Eagles, and Packers to win their divisions. So that'll be it for episode 2. And thanks for watching.